What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, doing a Wasianiverson VOD review from his regionals scrims. We got, of course, a very stacked lobby on the right here. Jetasaur, Dish Soap, I mean, some absolute beasts of the game. And all these players are going to be playing in regionals, which I will be casting in just a couple of days. Starts Friday with play-in. So I'm super, super excited. The meta seems to be shaping up really, really nicely. Seems like a lot of the changes landed into a really good spot, and so basically everything's playable. A lot of the forecast lines are playable. A lot of the reroll lines are playable. It's actually a very, very balanced meta. AD, AP, pretty balanced as well. Unless something crazy comes out in the next couple of days that there's like super broken comp that nobody had any idea on. Seems like we're gonna have an amazingly balanced meta for regionals, which is super, super cool here. So on with Wasianiverson here, we have an okay start that actually gets turned pretty nice when we hit a couple of good things here. We get this Zoe to pair up with the Leona 2, and we get these two Belvets here. So good chance that we can either play into a Primordian opener or into a Vanguard plus Arbiter opener. I know that Wasian actually likes Booster Pack a decent bit now after the buff, so I don't know that it's amazing in this spot here. Rolls his augment, sees early learning, says that's good, and then also sees treasure hunt and says that's really good too. And so he will just pick this up and know that he is going to play some kind of comp where you have to roll your shop, which is basically every comp. Normally, you want to play this in reroll lines just so that you can start getting some of these rolls during stage 3, so you're not just like down an augment the entire game. But I mean, if worse comes to worse, you can't even play this in more tempo lines. It's just a lot of value, even after they nerfed it. They, if you guys weren't aware, nerfed treasure hunt this patch from 16 gold to 18 gold per treasure chest. So it's 2 more gold, 1 extra roll per treasure chest, which is not that much of a nerf. And in some ways, they actually buffed it a little bit by making the final cash out guaranteed to be artifact, which is pretty nice. It means that you're, guaranteed to know that you can play into some kind of line where, you can use an artifact and pop off with that. So yeah, this is going to be our opener here. You can see we're going to throw these guys into our team planner, and the idea is that we're going to play a Jinx Belveth reroll game, but it doesn't actually end up being quite that straightforward as games of TFT go. When you watch really, really good players play, sometimes you think it's going one direction and it goes a completely different direction. So I thought this was a very, very cool VOD here, and so I wanted to review it here. So we get a few upgrades. We are in a bit of a loss streak here, which is kind of funny because our board's not even bad, honestly. Upgrade. We have the Cho'Gath. It's just we're down an entire augment, right? The treasure hunt is giving us literally nothing until we start rolling our gold. So if we fight anybody who has any kind of combat augment, for example, even this guy here has 2 items from their augment, though honestly, it'll be a little bit of a close fight that I think we'll end up winning. Yeah, but you can see, how somebody like this, even without very many upgrades, almost ends up beating us because they're up 2 full items, essentially, from their augment here. Going into Carousel here, it's Kale plus Ari. Kale is really nice for this line here. The bow is just way, way, way too good. And this is a line where you can never have too many items. The sword is also really, really nice, but we're going to hold on to both of these with the idea that they're going to be on Jinx, ideally. We're going to make the red buff DB, which is just amazing onto Jinx. She loves the AD. She loves the attack speed. She loves the ability to spread red buff. She's just the perfect holder of all that kind of stuff. And we're also, not playing for any kind of a streak in this spot, right? We just won the first fight. Best case scenario, we 3 streak from here, but 3 streak here, mixed streak here, really not going to make a huge difference to Mr. Iverson in this spot here, though we definitely prefer to take the 3 streak here. Red buff gets slammed on this other side, on this guy's board, which I imagine is just going to be into a Xayah. I believe it's Mount in this game, which is a very, very nice one for Xayah if you can get it in early enough, and, Jetasaur clearly has it in at least at 2-5. So makes sense, and we can chill here on our board a little bit longer. We have the Belveth too, which is really, really nice. We do have the option to sell, if we are going to win this fight, to sell the Briars here, but Wasian's actually going to make the call to level in this spot, saying, I'm on a 2 streak. Winning this fight to potentially protect my 3 streak is actually kind of nice, and there's not much downside. We still get to make 30 gold. We're pushing level 5 here, which is what we already want to do if we're playing the Jinx roll line, right? Ideally, we're going to be rolling on level 6, not really rolling at all prior to that, and so there's really no downside to leveling here, and yep, we get to make the 30 and get to hold on to the Briars, and now we're actually at 6 Briars. So we're like, well, we might actually reach this Briar 3. It's kind of funny. A lot of times in this line, you see people drop out of the Briar later, but if you get a Briar 3 for free, it's pretty reasonable. We also know that we're going to get a spat from the treasure hunt well, 50-50. There's a decent odds that we're going to get a spat from the treasure hunt, and we can think about turning that into stuff like a rogue spat. There's a lot of things that you can build out of this. And I'm making Crown Guard here. Only other slam was the Gwinsu's, but like I talked about, Red Buff is kind of the superior attack speed item for Jinx in the setup, and Crown Guard is one of the best ways in these AD lines that you can just kill this rod, get out of it, and it's not even bad onto Rek'Sai, more just survivability for Rek'Sai via this, so not even bad here. This is a close fight, but oh my god, it's actually insanely close. But Bel'Veth, the slaps plus, oh my god, what is the HP that this Bel'Veth lives at? This is actually insane here. 2 HP. I mean, that's the Wasianiverson diff. I mean, what can you say? But that's an amazing win for him. Gets to keep his streak, and now he can spike this next round and have really good odds of keeping his streak. So second augment here, best friends, Kahuna Huna, 2 tanky. Obviously, these are pretty bad in this spot here. This is the newly changed best friend, so now it gives you the S and then armor and MR, which is kind of nice. It means that, especially in a meta like this that's pretty balanced, you can take either one. I do like best friends a lot in this spot, but any of these options are honestly pretty reasonable. Advanced loan allows you to roll kind of deep here, get your cash outs. The Sunfire guarantees that you have that Sunfire effect, and we're going to roll down for at least 1 cash out here. But Wasian's going to make the tough decision to actually keep rolling here. He's going to say, I need to roll for something else here, and I have the upside of maybe being able to pick up the treasure hunt. Here's where it gets a little awkward. He pops Anvil here, and he really wanted to complete DB or red buff here, and he doesn't get either option. The only item he could really slam here is Shojin, but that kills your sword, and Deathblade is so important onto this Jinx unit that I think it makes no real sense to actually slam it there. So he makes the tough call to actually take Belt and leave a third item component open. Kids, if you're watching at home, this is not good fundamental TFT, but, the best players know when to break the rules, and this is a spot here where we actually do kind of need to keep the items open. We're also going into the Kale on Carousel, which has good odds of giving us a component, so we could very likely get like Slam out of Carousel here, so that is the upside to it. Really wish we did have a Slam here so that we could guarantee that we keep our streak, but honestly, the Maokai 2 that we rolled really deep to find did a lot of work here, and this has allowed us to keep our streak. 6 streak for Wasian, which is fantastic here. Means that he's going to get paid back via that streak. Get Cloak on Carousel, which is honestly not amazing, but it can be Kraken, and then we can take Bel'Veth here for 1, another Bel'Veth, and 2, a Sunfire Slam onto the Maokai here. So it's a little awkward, but we're getting there. We're getting to our slams, and the big thing is we're keeping streak here. Print this Briar here, which is actually huge because it allows us to make Briar 3. Outside of that, we would have had to sell the Jinxes, which feels bad. And we do get the Spatula here, which is really, really nice. So yeah, Wasian, looking at different items, comes to the conclusion that we kind of have to make Sunfire Kraken here, which makes a lot of sense, right? It's the double slam, leaves the sword open for DB or anything else really. There's a lot of good sword items that you can slam here, and then the spat also stays open. With the Reforger, you always get the option to take spat or pan essentially with the Reforger that you get from this cash out, so you can kind of do whatever you want. You do need some kind of plan, and Wasian in this game, I think he was kind of on the idea of like, we'll figure it out, we'll make something that makes sense. If we need to play towards Rogue, like if we hit the Briar 3, then we can play towards Rogue. If we play towards some more vertical Nova, we can make Nova. If we do something crazy, I don't know, you could even make Primordian Emblem, honestly, it's not even the worst. So a lot of stuff that we could make here. Last fight for Wasian, hoping to keep this 8 streak. It is versus a Gnar 2, which is never fun, and our main tank is away from our main carry. The Maokai, he's doing a pretty good job of tanking up, and we do just barely win this fight. That was actually almost really rough positioning because our Bel'Veth died before our Maokai, but our board's just strong enough that we do keep the 8 streak, and we end up in a really nice spot here, and we print another Rek'Sai here. What's interesting once we reach this spot is we have 8 copies of everything and, 9 copies of Briar at this point, but only 3 copies of Jinx. So it doesn't actually really make sense for us to roll down on 6 and try to find a Jinx 3, especially here when we get the Bel'Veth 3. So, like, how can we roll for Jinx? Bel'Veth 3, Rek'Sai 3 both appear just immediately here. We can't actually roll for this, so this is going to have to be kind of like a tempo Primordian idea here. Items-wise here, we can reforge Rod into something hopefully better. We do get Giant Slayer, which is a very, very good item onto Bel'Veth here. And then we have, it's kind of awkward, right? Yeah, Protector's Vow is a slam. The only downside is this is our 4th tank item. It feels quite awkward to have this many tank items built in this line, but an item's an item. We also do want to move the items over to the Rek'Sai at some point. For now, this is kind of fine, but definitely ideally we'd move the items over there. And we do still have the spat open to be anything we want it to be. Augments here, pretty mediocre, nothing worth writing home about. You could take Pandora's and reforge the, into whatever you want here, but big grab bag is an easy pickup here. More items, which, like I said at the start, you can never have too many items in this comp, and this proves it. We have literally taken Treasure Hunt, which is item augment, Best Friends, which is not item, Last Augment here, which is item, and we're also taking Kale for more Kale items, so it's just everything. And he is just going to go for the Giga Slam here, is going to make the DB onto Belveth, pretty decent item onto her, a little bit repetitive with the Kraken, but still fine. And the Crown Guard goes on frontline, so we're getting a lot of items down, but 6 tank items made. It's, like I said, a little excessive in terms of, like, do you need 6 tank items in this line? Not really. But in terms of board strength right now, I mean, think about what our upgraded units are on this board. We have, our 3-star units, and then we have the Maokai 2. And so getting a 3-item Maokai 2 is actually not bad at all in this spot here. So makes a lot of sense to throw this on here. And it's also just like, what were we going to do with the rod? Especially if we do want to go down the path of making this rogue spat here, we are going to need the Reforger down the line. So makes a lot of sense to do this and to chill on this setup here. Another win for Wasian, by the way, 11 streak here, selling off all of his bench here. He's fully committed to this being just kind of a hit this stuff and then push levels. It's almost, back. It's taken me back, honestly, to earlier in the set when you would just play Primordian Reroll, and that would be your comp, and sometimes you'd go for like an Akali 3 along with it. We do see the glove here also attached to a Kaisa, which is not even bad because she is a rogue that we can play on this board, so it makes a lot of sense, and we're going to get the extra money here, even get the Thomas Kench here, who's a great unit to potentially fit onto this board. And yeah, 4 Brawler going to come down here, gonna reforge, gonna make the rogue emblem, gonna be golden, and we now can move the Deathblade up to probably Briar here with the rogue in here. And yeah, that is going to be the setup here. So this is the idea, is that as a rogue spat Belveth Primordian reroll game, drop the Jinx, drop the Akali, and just play your best board that you can in this spot here, and then very likely layer in some Novas. I mean, Vertical Nova was buffed, though not a lot of the stuff that we're playing here, right? None of the Nova pieces there. So makes a lot of sense here. And also if I drop the Akali, because if you're typing a YouTube comment right now and saying, we didn't drop Akali, we're not going for Akali 3. That's what I meant by that, okay? I know what you're doing. I see those fingers typing. And if you had already typed that comment, then leave it. Leave it there for everybody to make fun of you. Okay. We see a Xayah board here. Is this Jetasaur? I think it is Jetasaur. Reached the Xayah with perfect BIS in the spot. Also has a Graves that he's stacking up, which is pretty scary on this board. You can definitely just fit Graves in as a duo carry. It's honestly, he's fantastic on this board. So going to be a little scary here. We have even components, so we really just want to finish off. Ideally, I would say some Briar items here. And I mean, Quicksilver is an item that can go into Belveth, and then you can move Chess up to Briar here. Would make, I didn't really think about this option. Is he's actually just going to triple item the Belveth and then consider moving the Rogue Spat up somewhere else onto Akali, I guess? Yeah, I mean, it's an item. Feels a little bit bad, honestly, just because, like, now this Rogue Spat is just kind of, like, stranded here in Narnia, but he knows QSS. I mean, QSS is one of Belveth's best items, so getting that CC immunity onto her, getting the attack speed onto her, we always knew the DB wasn't really destined to stay on Belveth forever, ideally, but, I mean, this is Belveth BIS. This is literally perfect in slot for her, so makes a lot of sense. And by the way, I hope you guys haven't forgotten, we still have 2 treasure chests left to open in this spot. We have a lot of room left to cap out, but Wasian is saying, well, why would I roll on 8 here? We've hit basically everything that we can at this spot. It's really just a straight to 9. I'm on a 14 streak. The second place person in the lobby has half my HP, so I could sack this entire stage if I really needed to, and then go 9 on 6-1, and it would be totally fine. We'll see if he ends up actually doing that, but he does need, 36 gold to cash out both these chests, so it's a bit much. It's a bit expensive to get there. We are finally going to take our first loss in 15 rounds to a Lulu 3 board, which, I mean, yeah, Lulu 3 just does some good stuff. That board is quite good, especially in La Montaña as well. It's CC. It's also just scaling with the board. I mean, it's just everything that you could ever ask for. All right, last few people for us to rotate into before top 4 is declared. Some strong boards out here. Bapzera did reach Ornn 3 on this MF board. Sadly, only 6 MFs is in like super MF jail here. The upside for him is that Ornn is very tanky frontline, and this board can sometimes have trouble getting through that, but no, man, the Belveth just does enough damage. I mean, this board's looking great. who I would normally say is the biggest carry on this board is Jinx. You know, I feel like Jinx oftentimes is what's really carrying these boards, but you can see that, you know, Bel'Veth has been buffed up for patch after patch, and honestly, we're in a spot now where we can play towards this board. Get the Titan's Resolve here for the Briar. I mean, you guys know probably from earlier on in the set, BIS a Briar, like a BT Titans type stuff here, and we have kind of a weird version of that where we have no healing onto her, but we have the DB, which will just cause her to do extra damage, and the Titans is just so good on a unit who attacks so quickly and wants to take damage and stack up here. And just like that, top 4 locked in for Wasianiverson before even dropping a quarter of his HP. He is just cruising this game with this very, very nice tempo reroll Primordian setup. I just think it makes so much sense to play for. He's also just going to pre-level up here so that we know that we can go it on 6-1. Like I said, it's just pretty easy for him to chill this entire stage, especially when you win some fights. We won 3 fights this stage with this board, so the level 9 is just so easy to get to. And oh my god, like we almost beat Jetasaur's board here, who only downside is he is scaling, right? Every single round that he lives is another round that he's getting, boom, he just gets another printed Stargazer emblem, which is horrifying onto that Graves. So that might be somebody outcapping us. We'll see. I mean, it would be a dream to outcap him and end up beating him. And we do have level 9 plus a lot of stuff to get out of these chests here, but we will see here. Going to downgrade the Akali just so that he doesn't have to burn a remover to move this rogue spat here, and is going to roll quite deep. Gets the gold cash out, which is pretty bad here, actually. He really wanted the item 1 here, but we are going to get artifact here. We can look for something good for ideally the Bel'Veth, but we don't find it, so we get Thresh's Lantern. I mean, Thresh Lantern, honestly, not bad. It's more frontline. It can pull in pretty solid units, especially this late into the game, right? Imagine just pulling in a random, like, Shen2 or something like that. That is really, really solid onto your board, so definitely not bad, especially in a spot like this where you have so much gold. Also, Wasian is, I don't think, denying, I mean, is he thinking about a random cheeky Master Yi 3 here? Or I don't think there's a Master Yi. I know it's just Jetasaur and Kreia here. So I guess he's thinking about the back door. It's a good thing to be thinking about in a spot like this, because I mean, he could potentially get there. Also, look at these quick swaps from Wasian getting to be same side as the Lulu. Not normally what you want versus her, because she can just burst down your melees through your tanks, and that's exactly what happens here. So not the right side here versus Lulu, but not really the end of the world here. He's still got some lives to work with here, and I mean, he does have level 10 coming soon to a theater near you. He is going to level here, get the Rostin on this board, and really just needs to roll down for something good to throw in here. We have the Morgana in right now, but yeah, it doesn't really do anything to throw her in. Her trait does not get activated, so it's not going to do much. Throwing in the Fiora, decent enough, right? She is an okay unit on her own, so we can definitely throw her in, and you know, maybe she can just get a few autos off and get some extra damage on this front line here. Looks like we're going to lose again. I think Jetasaur may have reached his max cap here, though Kreia drops down to 1, so a top 2 would be very, very good here. We do find the Fiora 2, which is fantastic here. Only problem is now this means we're throwing in actual trash here, just a Rost 1, but not the worst here. Jetasaur so strong here, so really we just have to kill as many units as possible here and just, I think, come to terms with the fact that we are going to lose to Jetasaur's board. I mean, this board is absolutely insane. Found the Graves, got all of these coolant style upgrades onto the Graves, so he's just a monster here. And yeah, I mean, it's just so much damage here, but hopefully Kreia lost to our clone. He did not, so it is a third for Wasian, but still a really cool, just like tempo game from Wasian, just showing this idea of, sure, we think we're playing Jinx Reroll, but we don't hit any Jinxes. We natural a lot of stuff for the other line, and so we just skip the Jinx entirely and push levels. This is what TFT is all about, is changing your plans on the fly when you have a good spot to do it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. All those help out the channel an immense amount. And you know, I mean, part of the reason why I'm casting regionals is because you guys watch my videos. You know, if I was some guy who literally all my videos got 5 views, probably no one would ever see my videos, and then, you know, people who work on regionals wouldn't see them, and they, you know, would say, who's this guy, and wouldn't add me. So literally just watching the videos and interacting with them in any way is such a big deal, and I appreciate that so much from you guys. So thank you guys for watching. As always, super excited for regionals and beyond. I mean, after regionals, we're to world in the next set 18. So we'll see you guys for all of that, and yeah, that's it. All right, bye bye.